What's up, everybody? This is episode 3 of the Janitors Podcast. We got IT back this week. He was AWOL last week.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? You know the vibes.
What's been new with everyone? IT, what's going on? What did you do last week and this week?
So last week I was visiting a very good friend of mine back home in New Jersey. He had a kid recently, and I'm spending as much time there as possible before I go back to school and, watch some football and was getting ready for this week's podcast. So that's about it.
What's up, Phil?
What's going on, boys? It's good to talk to you guys. I feel like I never get to talk to you guys anymore.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's nice.
It's pretty much just Sundays and the occasional time on the box, but
We're just such businessmen that it's just pod only.
It's overwhelming. We got the website,
I've just been taking pod notes. That's it. I don't do anything else.
full-time notes on the pod at
just
work.
sitting it.
I was literally playing NHL franchise mode so I could simulate and take pod notes while simulating, so I didn't have to actually engage in another activity. IT, you want to lead us off with your day in sports history?
Yes. So I would like to start us off here. And today is a very interesting day because tomorrow, as we all know, is Martin Luther King Day. And this is January 19th, 1952. The first, it was allowed that Professional Golfers Association approved the participation of blacks in golf tournaments.
Solid. That's like 5 years after baseball, so
Yeah.
they're a little bit behind the times.
To me, like 1952, that seems so far away, but in reality, it's really not that far away. Like that's our grandparents and maybe some of our parents if they're older. But to me, like the fact that 1952, the first and then you look at who's actually like golfing these days, which it's not.
Tiger Woods.
It just blows my mind that it was in 1952. But then you also have to look at slavery and all that other
it's all not that long ago.
It's really not that long ago, and that's the scary thing. Is we'll tell our kids, "Oh yeah, 1952." The first, they'll be like, "Was the dinosaurs?" And no, no, there's no dinosaurs back then. But yeah, I just thought that was really interesting coming up to Martin Luther King Day. That would fit right in. So, shout out to the PGA.
And for my facts, January 19th, 1937, Cy Young, Tris Speaker, and Napwa Joy got into the Baseball Hall of Fame. 1972, Sandy Koufax and Yogi Berra got into the Hall of Fame. 2000, Michael Jordan returns to the NBA with the Washington Wizards, with my Washington Wizards.
Oh yeah.
2000
Bullets. Can't forget about the Bullets.
Bullets, R.I.P. 2002 was the Tom Brady Tuck Rule game in the AFC Championship. And 2013, this is the day that ended the NHL lockout.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Imagine going this long without hockey, though.
Exactly.
We almost had to that one time.
It was brutal.
Yeah, we wouldn't have any content.
Yeah, we wouldn't even be a pod.
So, I got to get something off my chest.
Matt's
I've been
itching.
I've been waiting. I haven't talked to anybody about it. We're not big on scripting. I wanted to keep it as authentic as possible with how fucking mad I am, okay? So baseball is my favorite sport. Baseball is the sport I played growing up. My heart's beating really fast because I'm actually...
I can see how stressed you are right now to get this out, and you're itching. You're coming out of your hoodie right now.
So the MLB made an absolute joke out of themselves with handling the Astros. For those who don't know, the Astros had a camera in center field at their home games, and they were stealing the catchers and pitchers' signs. And it started with, if it wasn't a fastball, they would bang on a trash can. If it was a fastball, they wouldn't do anything. So they knew, at minimum, that it was going to be off speed, so they could adjust to it. And then it turned into they would wear buzzers on their arms. So it would be like a buzz. They would get buzzed. They wouldn't have to bang on a trash can. Jose Altuve, there's a video of him. He went to take his jersey off after he hit a walk-off home run. And everyone was like, no, 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 no. And he put it back on real quick because he had a buzzer under his jersey.
Oh,
right?
Damn.
So Pete Rose was banned for life from baseball. The guy with the most hits in baseball history. The guy who trucked a catcher in the All-Star game. The guy who played harder than anybody else, bet on his own team to win. Didn't throw a game, didn't cheat. He said, I'm so confident we're going to win, I'm putting my own money on us winning. And he got banned for life. The Astros, I was like, that's infinity times worse, right? You're literally cheating the game, right?
Yeah.
AJ Hinch got suspended for a year. They got docked like a first and second round pick, which doesn't matter in baseball because there's like a 99% chance that the pick's never making it. It's not football where the picks docking a first and second round pick in the NFL is a big deal. That's huge. In baseball, it doesn't really matter.
No, because you got people in the pipelines anyway. It's the farm.
Yeah.
Your farm system is way stronger there.
And they got fined $5 million, which is like the owner if he sneezes, that's a $5 million.
That's like a week of the jet, like taking the jet out, you know.
It's an absolute joke that's what they got. That as I pitched from the time I was first in playing baseball, like 7 or 8, until I stopped playing, right? I would rather, because some people might say, well, what about steroids? What about the steroid era? I would rather pitch to the most yacked out on steroids guy they could find. Put whoever's the strongest, yacked out on steroids, put the Rock up there.
Yeah,
I'd rather face someone that's just absolutely juiced out, prime Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire. I'd rather face them over someone that knows what pitch I'm throwing. Because I don't give a shit how strong you are. I can still beat you.
Yeah, definitely.
You still have to guess what I'm going to throw you. You still have to react to it in time and hit it.
But you don't know the calls. Yeah, you're right.
These guys were cheating the system, and they knew what pitch was coming.
Yeah.
Like that. Stealing signs is one thing. If you look at the third base coach and you figure out that swiping down the arm.
Yeah, that's the game. Yeah, you're just
there.
Yeah.
If you could, with your eyes, fair game. That's what signs are for. You're supposed to. That's why when catchers put their signs up, they'll put up several to try to,
It's just the fact that they're wearing these items that help them.
Exactly.
Like what?
If you want to steal signs, that's on the other team for not having more elaborate signs.
Right.
If you're pitching and there's a runner on second, they could see your signs, and you're not mixing it up 3-1, 4-2, 3-4-3, and pitcher and catcher, it's either like the first one's a pitch we're throwing, the third one's a pitch we're throwing. You change it up every so often.
Yeah.
That's completely different. That's a complete whole other level because baseball is it's the only game where you can't run the clock out when you're winning. You still have to throw it over the plate. You still have to beat them. You can't just rag the clock out until it's over. It's the most honest game out there. And the Astros took cheating to a whole other atmosphere, and they got less than a slap on the wrist. Would say.
What's the penalty? What's the fine for like when a pitcher or someone has like the tar on them? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know off my head. Not that much.
I'm in my head like thinking about how that would compare to like a fine of like cheating off this level, because that's just individual cheating, but this is a team cheating. This is a whole fucking team.
And if we're like, it's a shitty thing to say, but like ranking the levels of cheating.
Oh yeah, it's like steroids,
I would rather like putting tar on the ball gets it to spin and drop more.
Yeah, that's individual enhancement, but a team enhancement is the knowing the plays and knowing the calls. That's an overall team enhancement. Everybody can know that.
Right.
But
and
just
using
the tar helps one person.
Camera, using technology to cheat the most honest game on the planet. I would say the manager and everybody who participated should be suspended for at least 5 seasons minimum. If Pete Rose got life for betting on his own team to win, the guys cheating the game straight up should get minimum 5 years.
Yeah.
I'd rather face yacked out, juiced up Barry Bonds gaining 100 pounds in a season, not knowing my signs, over George Springer and Jose Altuve knowing what pitch I'm throwing. Mm-hmm. It's
Facts.
It feels good to get it off my chest.
No, I'm glad because you've been talking about it for like a week now.
Dude. The MLB commissioner, between the pitch clock and all that stuff, they're doing their best to ruin baseball. The commissioner should be relieved off the bat. Relieved. Anyone who had anything to do with the suspension, relieved. You're not on the front. You're not in the MLB front office anymore. AJ Hinch should be gone. They also, Alex Cora, Carlos Beltran, They got relieved from their managerial duties. Anybody involved should get a minimum 5-year ban.
Yeah.
Because what you got to put a stop to it before it starts. They're the first one that we know about. Who else is doing stuff like this?
Yeah.
Honestly, who knows, man? It's the same thing. So I'm going to tie this into the Patriots real quick, because I'm a Patriots fan. So everybody's going to be like, oh, well, the Patriots fucking cheat too.
Of course, Boston guy. Of course,
Classic.
Boston guy's bringing Patriots up.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Like you said, we know about the Astros doing it. Who else is doing it now that we don't know about? It's the same thing with the Patriots Spygate scandal. Yeah, the Patriots filmed practices, but guess who else did that? Literally everybody else in the NFL until the Patriots got caught, and then everybody was like, shit, we got to stop doing this because they're going to catch us and fine us and shit.
And I mean, that was enough for the people in the NFL to not get caught. Baseball, who knows? They should have put an end to it before it even started. They should have put the hammer, dropped the hammer, because Pete Rose was, I mean, Shoeless Joe Jackson hit like 400 in that World Series, and he got the boot for life. Pete Rose literally had the most hits in MLB history, and bet on himself with money to win the game. And
his own money that he earned in his career from hitting the most in the movie ever.
What did Pete Rose? How did he hurt the game? That's how you put it in perspective. How did he hurt the game? He didn't. He's like, I'm gonna put money on myself because I know I'm about to win. I know I have the most hits ever. I know I'm about to win.
He had that Mayweather confidence, you know?
Yeah. The Astros, Jose Altuve won an MVP. They need to take that from him. Reggie Bush got the Heisman taken. Take the MVP from him. Vacate the wins. Vacate the World Series that they won while cheating. Vacate the AL pennant they won this season. Nationals won. How are you? But that's honestly, I've never been so mad about any decision in sports. That's fucking trash. The MLB, I used to be able to name every single player on every single team. I could name everybody on every AAA team. But then this commissioner that's been in the past few years and shit like this is when baseball should be trying to draw people to the game. They're pushing everyone out. They're pushing, especially like the old people that are like imagine how our grandparents would feel. Like my grandpa, he's like, they're using cameras?
Like,
cameras?
What? How did they get a camera in there?
Yeah.
He's thinking of like those big cameras with the, you know what I'm talking about, with the curtains you go and crank it up. That's what our grandpas would be like. How'd they fit that in the suit?
So now that I have the biggest weight lifted off my shoulders, I feel like at the end
take that shitty shirt off. Not
what's the Will Smith movie when he sells the medical equipment? He's like homeless.
Pursuit of Happiness?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh,
I feel when he finally got a job at the end. That's how I feel getting that off my chest.
Just release. Good shit, man. I'm glad you got it off.
All right, let's get into more stuff now. Now that you had I think it was like a 9-minute rant, but I fuck with it.
Thank you for letting me. Go ahead.
Get into the current events of what just happened.
Go for it, IT.
Start with UFC.
Oh, buddy, I'll take the lead on this one.
Yeah, I would love you to.
My man, Connor, the Notorious, the former, came in and bodied Donald Cerrone.
Absolutely.
Hit him with 3 quick shoulders. I've never seen that shit before in my life, dog. I've never seen a person just throw his shoulder into someone's nose. Hit him 3 times with his shoulder, busted his nose up. Donald recovered himself, and then he head kicked him, and it was all over from there. He went down, and he just ground and pounded him for the next 10 or so seconds till the ref called it.
Cowboy's one of the toughest dudes in the game too, so he just did that to him.
He just got busted. But all love to McGregor and Cerrone though. It was a great fight for me to watch, and Cerrone's a class act.
But I do have to say I was a little disappointed because I do like seeing McGregor go the rounds because he just keeps getting into it, and I think his celebration wasn't a true celebration because he felt like he just it was too easy. When he wins later on in the rounds, you can see the blood all over him, and he's like going
nuts.
I mean, he didn't do the he didn't even do the billionaire walk, whatever he calls it.
I mean, just from my perspective, since Cerrone's getting older. He's definitely not getting any younger. He's been fighting for a really long time.
Yeah, it shows.
To me, this was more of a tune-up fight than it was anything.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, Cowboy does have the most wins, most finishes, most bonuses in UFC history.
You just can't finish in the big shows, you know.
Yeah, but there was a surprising. Oh, Cowboy's always a good sport, no matter what.
Oh, they
but
both were
I thought
this match,
Connor
yeah.
was gonna be like
An
talking
asshole.
bad shit, and he went over and hugged him and was like, "Gotcha."
He even hugged his mom at one point. I saw.
Yeah,
Which was pretty cool.
That's
what
what my
have
favorite.
mutual respect for the sport, which is
My
what it
favorite
comes
thing
down
about
to.
UFC is, I would say probably 90% of the time, after the fight, everyone's good sports at the end. Everyone always hugs it out because they respect the sport and respect each other. Even the people that talk mad shit about each other, Cowboy and McGregor talk mad shit about each other,
But they
still
got it done, yeah.
still respect at the end.
And they've been doing that for like 5-6 years now, almost talking
Right.
shit. But like some people like Khabib, you know, just can't handle it. They just can't be proper gentlemen, as McGregor would say. But
Well, the thing with Khabib though,
proper 12.
the way-
We got new
the
sizes.
thing with Khabib though is like where he's from in Russia, like their little province,
yeah.
like they don't take well the disrespect. So they don't get trash talking. Like, trash talking is like you talk shit, you're getting fucking knocked out. That's it.
Yeah, they also
It's game
wrestle
over.
bears.
Yeah, they don't play with that shit. So that's the thing with like Khabib. It's like more of a cultural thing than it is like he doesn't respect the game thing. But
entertainment.
honestly, I think Conor looked better at 170 than he ever
love
did.
it.
Dude, he
I love
looked
it.
nice.
He looked great at
He-
170.
I hate watching him cut down. I hate watching him cut super low.
Yeah, he looks super tiny. Like he doesn't fit his body right. That he looked like Conor McGregor. Yeah, even
I
at
think
that
Matt and I were
170.
talking about this the other day, actually. I asked him how he felt like McGregor looked at 170. He was like, he's fucking big. Like, he's a big boy
Yeah,
now.
he looked big. He
Filled
did, yeah.
out. He looks the part now.
Mhm.
So I think he should stay at 170 and fight there until he's done because it's a good look for him.
Yeah,
Makes me
he
feel like
dropped,
shit that I'm also 170.
Dude, I'm 200 pounds. He looks way better than me. God
Yeah,
bless.
He is. Man,
But-
What are you gonna say? IT, what are you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, I was gonna ask Phil, his opinion. Well, we already discussed this earlier, but on his opinion on who's McGregor's next. As you said, you think he should stay at 170, but do you think he's gonna try to? Who do you think he's gonna try to fight next?
I 100% agree. That I think he's going after Jorge Masvidal next. I think that's the next logical step in his sequence.
It's the big name right now, yeah.
Yeah, it's the baddest motherfucker on the planet belt. It's Conor McGregor. It's Jorge Masvidal, who's become one of the best knockout fighters in UFC. Like, I think that's a good fight to get set up. That's what I think. I don't know. It's the day after the fight. They got a lot of time to. He's still probably. I mean, he's probably not recovering from very much.
He didn't even get hit.
He didn't get hit once, man. You watched. Danny was like, he didn't get touched once. He left untouched. I was like, yep.
His shoulder might be sore from breaking his fucking nose,
yeah.
but other than that,
He just has to ice it off for a couple of days. But
Yeah.
no, it was nice to see him back because I'm a huge Conor McGregor fan, and
Love him.
obviously the last fight was very interesting and ended in a series of events that like Dana White was talking about. It was like, and Joe Rogan was even talking about it too. They're like, it's so cool to see Conor come back because he was so amped up, and now he's like here and up 40 seconds in. He's there it is. That's Conor McGregor. Just came out of the woodwork, so it was nice. It's nice to see.
I think didn't he also call out Paul Felder, who was announcing?
Yeah, he's
And
calling out everybody.
Paul Felder said, "I got a fight in February, but after that, he can come get some." Like, ooh, fiery ginger.
The funny thing is Mayweather. I sent it to the group chat, but Mayweather's trying to promote his next fight with McGregor. in
man,
2020.
get that motherfucker out of here.
He already made a card for it and everything.
Make it a UFC
Floyd
fight.
Mayweather.
It's
Make
all
it a
over.
UFC
Yeah,
fight.
make it a
next time.
UFC fight, Mayweather. Let's go.
Yeah,
You want to fight? You want to fight like a big boy? Let's come fight like a big boy.
One leg kick and he's gone. His leg is
Oh, yeah.
falling off. He's not doing it.
Yeah.
No, just one head kick. He's not used to getting kicked in the face, just punched.
Oh
With
yeah.
squishy gloves.
And those, the shoulders. He got the shoulder move now. That's the signature Conor.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. That's how it ended too.
The rest
I
of the
hate it,
fight-
but I love it. You know.
The Holly Holm fight.
Mm.
If you're a fan of technicality,
Then
it was
amazing.
entertaining.
Yeah.
A lot of people who want to see knockouts or straight arm bars in the first minute were pissed. People were booing them. But Holly Holm was just in an MMA setting, dominating.
Yeah, she even acknowledged that after the fight. She was like, "Yeah, I tried to give you guys a better fight, but technically I had an advantage and I just ran with it. That's all that
And if
worked."
that's everybody who booed her or booed the fight, if that's you and you know that's what you got to do to win, you're gonna do it. You're
Yeah,
gonna
absolutely.
do it. You're not gonna be like, oh, let me break this clinch to try to kick her in the head. No, you're winning.
Yeah,
you're
because
winning.
2 seconds later you're on your ass and they got you in an armbar and you're out.
The thing about it is Holly Holm admitted that she just started learning Muay Thai. She just started learning the clinch.
And
she literally was using it to win. And she just held her against the cage and hit her with a couple uppercuts, a couple elbows. But she's like, I still want to work more striking into it. I'm not perfect. I still have a long way to go with the Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And especially in that weight class, she's going to have to fight Amanda Nunes. So good luck. Good luck, dog. Because I don't want to fight her.
Did you guys catch the Alexei Olenek and Maurice Green one?
I caught the entire card, which
the guillotine.
Lucky. Yeah.
He
he put him in like this boa constrictor.
Yeah, that's what they call him, the boa constrictor.
Yeah, Alexei Olenek, I think it was the first round, had him in a neck crank, and he was squeezing as hard as he could for like 30 or 45 seconds.
I thought he was going to tap right away.
Because he kept doing that thing where he creeps his fingers together.
Yeah.
As soon as he had it locked in, I was like, Green's done. No one gets. He's 58 now,
he's gonna crush
and 13. He's 58 and 13. So as soon as he had him, I was like, oh, Maurice Green's done. That dude hung in there. Most people would have got their necks broken, and he sat in there and took it the whole time.
He tried,
and then he burned out Olenek, and I thought for a second that Maurice Green was going to be able to come back since Alexei was all burnt out, but the boa constricted.
Yeah, I think that just about wraps up UFC, though. I mean, there was a couple smaller fights. Nothing was really...
That sucks.
The O'Day fight was really boring.
I was really rooting for him, but that guillotine was savage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, the pay-per-view was pretty boring to begin with.
Yeah.
Right.
The prelims were pretty good. I don't know if you watched.
I had 40 seconds of hype for Conor McGregor, and then about that. That was about it.
I feel like some of the prelims were better than the card, actually. To be honest,
they usually are, but those dudes are fighting for spots in the UFC, so they gotta earn their money.
A lot to show there.
Yeah, I think that's all we got. So Matt, you can jump us into the next topic.
The next on the agenda, college football national championship.
Deserved.
Joe Burrow, dude.
Joe Burrow.
When I saw the video before the game, when the reporter was like, it has a picture of him when he was a kid, and she said, does this look like a Heisman Trophy winner to you? He said, you're damn right, show him. And she turned it on to the camera. She said, what would you say to this kid right now? And he said, he looks like a national champion. And I was like, LSU won.
It's over. LSU already won.
Confidence.
The guy that just threw 8 touchdowns against the 4th best team in the country just called it before the game based on a picture of him when he was 9 or 10 or whatever. As soon as that happened, I was like, LSU won. We're sitting at work and everyone's like, yeah, LSU. And
I love the video of him sitting in the chair with the cigar with his uniform still on. I was like, God bless. This kid is already a fucking phenom, and he's not even in the NFL yet.
My new favorite player.
Dude, the coach during the press conference was like, take it easy on the cigar.
Like, Coach O's one.
He's like, take it easy on the cigar.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
So there's not really much we have to really talk about that game. The LSU
dominated.
They were down at first, but
no,
Joe Burrow even said, they asked him, they said, were you nervous? He said, nobody was ever nervous. They asked him if Coach O gave a speech. He said, no, just drink water and go play ball. And even when they were down, I think it was 17-7.
I mean, the only thing that really happened for Clemson, I mean, Trevor Lawrence played pretty rough.
Yeah.
I still love Trevor Lawrence. He's a sophomore. He's already got a national championship. He's a stud.
He's playing against an NFL defense.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that shit at all. But Clemson came out with a solid defensive plan to shut down LSU, and they pinned him inside the 10, 3 or 4 times in a row. And then once LSU started getting some field position and they started to understand what Clemson was trying to do, they just busted it wide open. It was all over.
LSU's punter at minimum got a camp invite from that game. He was a savage. He's probably getting drafted to begin with. He's already good, but if people didn't have him on the radar, if you just go back, I'm a big special teams guy because we're all big team guys here, big janitor guys. Oh, yeah. But the punter for LSU was a savage that game, savage. And that leads me. This is a question for both you guys. If you're the Bengals,
oh god,
and they're getting Joe Burrow. You gotta get Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
What would it take if you're the Bengals GM? What would it take to get that number 1 pick out of your hands? What would it take?
Dude, honestly, like the way that I look at this is there's nothing in the world. There's nothing in the world that's coming out of my hands for that pick. Because
I'm a big proponent if there's a price for everything.
Oh,
right, but like,
money
what
talks.
team is that desperate
Money
for
talks.
a quarterback of?
Yeah,
that's what I'm asking.
Like,
I mean,
ugh.
I just don't know what the Bengals would be willing to trade back for. It all comes down to like what you're willing to come back to, because you still have to have a first round pick because you're the Bengals. You were the worst team in the NFL last year.
They would need a quarterback out of the
first pick.
They would need a quarterback.
Right, but what if say Justin Herbert might be your favorite? What would it take? Would it take? So for me, if it's me, I would say after we watch Joe Burrow, he's playing. Those are NFL caliber teams. Like half of Clemson's going to be in the league next year, right? It would have to take a top 15 quarterback in the league and then some. It would have to be.
Easily.
But I don't even know if I would take that.
But even then,
even more than top 15,
you're still running the risk of Joe Burrow being a fucking stud in the NFL and being the next Tom Brady.
If someone calls you and if the Texans call you and they want a left tackle, they want Georgia's left tackle number 1, like we'll give you Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins and a first for your pick.
Fuck yes! Are you kidding?
Is that too much?
That's way too much.
That's a lot.
Deshaun Watson in the first.
I'd take that. I'd still take that.
Deshaun Watson in their first.
First next year?
Yeah.
Next year's first?
The Texans were the first ones to get bounced from the playoffs. So they're 21st overall pick around there. They'll probably be around 21st-ish pick. So that's not dropping back that far, really, because not every team is going to go after a quarterback first round. So you might lose Joe Burrow, but you still have Jordan Love on the board. You still have Justin Herbert on the board. You still probably have Tua on the board. Jake Fromm. Like you still have talent out there at the quarterback position.
And that's a Madden Deshaun Watson for him. That's a Madden trade.
Yeah,
in real life, I don't think anybody. So when the Redskins traded up for RG3, they traded 3 first rounders and a couple second rounders. I don't even think I would take that. But if it's a franchise changing, culture changing move, like drafting a Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert, I don't think you could put a price on it. Just like I don't think you could put a price on trading up for a pick. So when the Redskins traded all that for RG3, I don't like it's you got to. If that's your guy, and Andrew Luck's gone. If that's your guy, if that's obviously didn't work out. It worked out for 2012, but if that's your guy, you got to risk it. You got to risk it for the biscuit. If that's your guy, you got to go all in. So
I'd also like to correct myself. I'm a little bit retarded. When you said, I thought you said DeAndre Hopkins in a first, not Deshaun Watson. That's why I was still naming quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah.
But I agree. If it's not an entire culture move, then there's no need. Why are you wasting the time or money to trade up?
Yeah, you just
or the picks. Why are you wasting the picks or the players to trade up if it's not going to be an entire team-changing event?
And that mistake you made was way less severe than IT's Randy Moss or my.
God damn it, Matt! Why'd you gotta bring that up, bro?
Or me saying Zach Bogosian played for the Blues.
Yeah,
and not
what
the
the
Sabres.
hell? We all have made mistakes here. We're just starting.
That's what I want to correct myself before I had to do it next week on the pod or on Twitter.
We're big team guys, though. Don't worry. We care about the team first mentality.
And you got anything else about the Natty? Like a one more piece of college football news? IT, you got anything about the Natty?
Pretty much all I want to cover for college football real quick is that literally the entire LSU roster is declaring. That's all I got. Like underclassmen declaring. That whole ass roster is declaring.
Oh, you want to cover
everybody that
OBJ?
Odell gave money to. Which we
Yeah.
should just lead into right now, Phil. Let's get it started.
Right into OBJ. Let's get it.
Let's get it
All
going.
right. So this man, first off, he was getting fined from the NFL, and the NCAA was looking into this because he gave money to LSU players. In my opinion, what the fuck ever, dude. That's his money. If he wants to give some money to college players after winning a national championship at the school he went to, whatever, dude. Who the fuck cares?
Especially seniors.
Yeah, I don't give a shit, dude. I mean, give him $5,000 so the underclassmen can go get some fucking tattoos because they're not getting any money from anywhere else.
Right.
But then there's some more that comes out. So apparently, in the locker room, this man was getting super litty with all these college seniors, which is, are you an adult?
Yeah,
it's
kind of weird. It is kind of weird.
I thought you were a fucking professional football player. Can you fucking act like it for literally like 5 minutes, please? This is literally why the Browns fucking suck, dude. They're god awful because their quarterback made 100 commercials in the offseason, didn't spend any fucking time lifting, getting better, working on his arm, working on his reads. No, he filmed commercials. OBJ is out here getting lit with college seniors at fucking LSU after the national championship. What the fuck what's wrong with you, dude? You guys went like 6-9. You're fucking awful. Go get better.
You have no reason to be celebrating anything right now.
Hey, Phil, there's 16 games in the NFL season, bud.
7-9. Fuck you, dude. 6-10. They're fucking terrible. I'm heated right now. That's why stats don't matter when I'm heated.
Stats is your thing, man.
But so in the locker room when he was celebrating with the players, he apparently called a police officer a pig and smacked him on the ass.
I saw the video.
What the fuck are you doing? You're a
shaming.
grown-ass man, dude.
Hey, maybe he just wanted to hit that ass. Who knows?
Cool. That's cool. Don't do it in a place where there's a fucking 1,000 cameras.
Yeah.
They just won a national championship. You don't think they're going to fucking have cameras in the entire locker room? The lights just changed. That was weird.
It went to green. That's weird.
I don't know what that just happened, but...
There's a ghost.
You got any other college football talk? Because I got one more thing.
I'm not really big into college football, but I do enjoy the draft and all. When that time comes around.
Oh yeah,
that's a big time for me. But yeah,
when the draft comes around, I'll be putting out my top.
I like the combine. I like scouting. I like doing all that shit. So to me, like right now, it's like it's all right, regular season. But right now is when I start getting into it, obviously, because of the championships and then who's going to enter.
The Giants are always picking top 10.
Yeah,
so
we always end up, looking at these top players, but we don't draft them. We just draft, scrubs that could have been drafted
Daniel
later.
Jones is the future of your franchise, dude.
Yeah, easily.
He's a stud.
He's awesome.
My last piece of college football, De'Aaron King. He would absolutely be a janitor if he so wanted to. I was hoping he would go to Oregon. I thought he'd be a good fit there, but he transferred to Miami. He entered the transfer portal, ended up choosing Miami. One of the reasons I love it. Just like when Ed Oliver was the first 5-star to go to a non-Power 5 school, Houston. De'Aaron King chose Houston, which, if I'm not mistaken, he's from Houston. Similar to Ed Oliver, he chose Houston over, this is just to name a few, Baylor, Clemson, Cal, and Oklahoma. And he said, I'm not worried about the Power 5. It went to Houston. So I like that. On top of that, in 2018, he had 2,982 yards, 36 touchdowns, 6 picks, and 674 rushing yards and 14 rushing touchdowns. So he had 50 touchdowns. Yeah, flies under the radar because it's Houston. And they're like, yeah, air raid. But he has that's both. He can throw with the best of them, and he can run like crazy. That was 2018. This past year, after I think 3 or 4 games, he medical redshirted to save a year of eligibility and ended up going to Miami, which is also a good fit for him.
Yeah.
I was hoping Oregon because Herbert's leaving, and yeah, but another proven, you see the stats right there, another proven quarterback could have taken them over the hump. Because if Oregon hadn't lost to Arizona State, they would have been in the playoff. But I thought
I want to talk about the Oregon I saw a video last night of the Oregon locker room and like their entire training facility. Dog, that shit's so nice.
It's crazy.
That
I'm
shit,
surprised they have new
I need
uniforms
to go
every
see
week.
that in real life. I need to go see that with my own eyes.
If you go, even if you just go to Oregon, Eugene is a couple hours from Portland. If you go to either of them, you're similar to how we love Colorado. You would love Oregon. Oregon's awesome. That's why when a recruit, they go to Oregon, they see the facility, they see the area, they see the jerseys, they see the success. It's a no-brainer. Why would you
Oh,
not
yeah.
want to go?
Damn, I just
Dude, if
pulled
I got
up a
recruited
picture.
if I was a top 5-star recruit in the country, I'd see Oregon. I'm like, yep, I'm going.
That's why
Sold.
they got
Sold.
Kayvon Thibodeau, a 5-star defensive end,
Wow.
and then they got
It's
got
really
another one
nice.
this year.
I just looked
Before
at
they-
the picture.
Before they even sign your recruiting papers or like sign your commitment, they fit you for gear. They like get you tried out for cleat sizes, get you all fitted out in the shit, get your helmet size and everything. That way, the day when you show up, you're ready to go. That's great. Like they put time and effort into these dudes, and like show that, hey, we care about you here. We want you to be successful. Come play at Oregon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But that's all I got. I just had to jump in on that too because I love that last night. I watched it because what brought me to it. I was actually looking at LSU's like weird locker room. It looks
It's
stupid
weird.
to me.
Yeah.
It's just chairs with like storage underneath. That's dumb to me, but
No,
whatever.
Oregon's looks nice. I just looked at it online. Looks fresh.
So transitioning. How's my mouth doing today?
How are you?
Going to NFL. Very rude of us, but we didn't allow IT to tell a story, episode 1, that he wanted to tell. So, IT, you want to lead us off with our NFL talk with the story that me and Phil so rudely interrupted?
Yeah, how dare you? So, the first podcast, I had a bunch of facts and information, but Matt just kept talking, and then by the time he was done, I couldn't just be like, oh, wait, I have something to say about this. So, anyway, we're going back to fantasy football. I ended up winning this year in my fantasy football league, and I was actually projected to come in last. And halfway through the season, my one friend who was undefeated at the time said, "Oh, it looks like you need a quarterback," because I had Baker Mayfield, and I was literally losing games because of that. Like, I lost a game by .02 once, and it was because he like threw a fumble. Or threw an interception.
Threw a fumble.
My mouth
Oh
is not
yeah,
working
sick
either,
football
Matt.
talk, dude.
You just got your
I
mouth
just touched
implanted.
Matt through the camera, and I'm blah, blah, spaghetti mouth. But anyway. So anyway, halfway through the season, my friend's like, "Oh, it looks like you need a quarterback." He's like, "I'll trade you Lamar," and I was like, "Are you joking me?" And anyway, so I'm like, "All right, I'll take him. Dude, I ended up winning almost every game from there on. Get to the finals, and look who I'm up against. The same person who gave me Lamar Jackson. All right? So he's like, oh, damn it. So he had to face me in the finals. The game's going well, and then all of a sudden, I just take off. And it just felt so good to beat the guy who gave me Lamar, because I would have never been in that position. And I ended up winning $100. So I was like, hell yeah.
What was the total trade?
It was Lamar. I gave him Breida from San Francisco. Matt, I think he's Matt. Yeah, He gave me McCoy, and I gave him like a burner, someone. I don't even remember who it was. And he gave me McCoy and Lamar, and I ended up winning.
Doesn't matter. Won the championship.
I don't even look back because I didn't even keep anyone else he gave me. I just needed a quarterback, and somehow
Doesn't matter. Got the dub, baby.
got lucky. Got really lucky. So just wanted to share that with the viewers so they know that I'm swag and that I did win fantasy football this year. So
Love it.
I kick ass.
So
Honestly, I think NFL talks to me pretty quick.
before the playoffs, last week, Luke Kuechly retired. That was kind of a shock, but also several concussions, several other injuries.
Yeah.
He's 28. He's going out on his own terms, similar to Calvin Johnson, rather than going out all jacked up and having a shitty last couple of years.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
And I mean, I think he'll be a Hall of Famer just off he only played 8 years, but in those 8 years, he made 7 Pro Bowls, 5 first-team All-Pros, 2 second-team All-Pros. an Art Rooney Award, 3 Butkus Awards, a Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, led the team in tackles twice, or led the league in tackles twice. Just all around one of the most dominant players of our lifetime. So
yeah, he really is. And
what do you guys think about that?
I really, it's sad to see because, like you said, he's just one of those players that we all grew up, not grew up, like over the past couple of years have really like just not like fallen for him, but like he's a really good dude. Like he's played his ass off for a team that just, has constant struggles. But so there's a lot of other teams like the Giants. But anyway, we're going to keep it on to this subject. And, so it's sad, but I hope he ends up staying in football and gets a position somewhere, either commentating or or because he has a lot to offer. And I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina, offered him a job internal. I wouldn't be surprised.
Even if it's one of those made up, assistant
like
to the
whatever he does right now, it's like
assistant to the general manager of player safety and scouting and fun. And
he just assigns the rooms in the hotels. And
Man,
doesn't really do much.
Seeing the interview that he did when he announced it, it broke my heart, man. It broke my heart. I hate seeing. It's really tough for me because I get it because obviously there was a point in my hockey career where I had to just stop because I was getting too many head injuries. I wasn't good enough to be pro, so I guess his situation is a little bit different. But I wasn't going pro. I wasn't going to a D1 school, getting a scholarship. I wasn't doing anything good with my life with hockey except I love the sport. So it really tugged on my heartstrings that somebody had to give up something that they love so much just because they know it's not good for their body. And I've been in that situation.
You never even think about having to walk away. I stopped playing baseball obviously after high school. I stopped, but you never think about having to damn, there's a day where I played baseball for 10 years straight, all 4 seasons. That was my life, baseball and Call of Duty. So you never think about
put down the bat and never picked it back up. Someone was talking about that recently.
Is it Moneyball that said there's going to be an end? Some last longer than others, but you're going to have to end it at some time.
Yeah, it's like you put down the bat and never pick it back up, put down the glove, never put it back on. It's like one of those things.
It also helps that he's made almost $64 million.
Relax.
Yeah. I just get it on that personal level. It's just one of those things that just sucks. Yeah, I still play hockey to this day, but it's not competitive hockey. I'm not playing for a sick team with custom jerseys, custom gloves, custom pants, all that cool shit. But yeah, man, I just feel for him. You hate to see somebody have to go out like that just because they know it's not good for him anymore.
So we hope Luke Kuechly succeeds in his life after football, and hopefully the head injuries didn't take too much of a toll on his future.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this right now, we would love to have you on the pod. You're a big team guy, and we're a big fan. So if you're listening, give me a call. My number and contact information are on the website. We would love
JanitorsPodcast.com.
JanitorsPodcast.com. We'd love to have you. We also have another special guest coming up soon. Not as, how would you like to say, as famous, but hey,
I got another quick NFL topic real quick too before we switch too.
I got a few topics.
Oh shit! All right, let me do mine real quick just because it's another mini rant. So it makes me laugh actually, thinking about this. So AB, his agent and his lawyer have cut ties with this motherfucker now. This dude is such a fucking clown. He hasn't paid his lawyer bills.
No surprise.
He's out here being a scumbag, acting like everybody's in the world out to get him when he's the one that's doing this shit to himself. He is the reason he's not playing the NFL right now. It's not Robert Kraft. It's not Bill Belichick. It's not John Gruden. It's not Mike Tomlin. It's Antonio Brown. He's the reason he is not in the NFL. Bro, just be a grown-ass man, dude.
Yeah, he sucks.
If I don't pay my rent, guess what happens? I get fucking kicked out. I get evicted.
He's never been the same since his concussion.
Yeah,
he's never been the same.
I mean, there's.
It might have something to do with it.
To an extent, yes, he could have issues controlling himself.
Just losing.
But for him to he doesn't. It's if any of us wanted to go get a job and we weren't professional about it, we'd be let go. It's like it makes sense. He's not professional. There's nothing professional about him at all. So it makes sense. You can't handle the job, then just get out, leave.
Yeah.
Nothing. I wouldn't want him on my team. Yeah, he's a really good player, but look, everybody's like, "Oh, AB to the Patriots. Oh, he's gonna be so exciting." And then look what happened. Literally, just collapsed. It's trash.
Anything else you got, Phil?
That was all I got.
So, 2 offensive coordinator signings. One is just fucking hilarious, and one is actually good. When it was announced that the Giants hired Jason Garrett as their offensive coordinator, I screenshotted it and I sent it to you guys, and I typed ha 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 ha.
Yeah, but you totally missed it when I said it on our actual headphone chat on Xbox. I literally said it, and Phil's like, "Oh, really?" And you just didn't hear it. I literally said that Jason Garrett was hired, and then the next day you're like, "Jason Garrett."
Extremely unfortunate.
I was like, "Yeah, I just said that on Xbox."
I got my ears surgically removed at birth.
Yeah,
so
ears and mouth, just marbles.
So that's fucking great because it's the Giants. So I hope they fucking lose every single game.
All right, bye.
And
I'm gonna edit you out from now on. Here we go.
Dan, don't do that.
Click. You're muted.
So he's for years was Jerry Jones' puppet. Jerry Jones, every head coach they've hired since like Jimmy Johnson, it's just been a place. It's a formality. It's like the Queen of England. The Queen of England and the Cowboys head coach have the same amount of power. Jason Garrett doesn't do shit. He just sits there and claps and is red. He's red as fuck. They play in a dome and he's red as fuck.
I love that you just compared.
The Queen of England doesn't do shit, and neither does the Cowboys head coach.
Oh my God.
So, Jason Garrett, like the Giants offensive coordinator, the Giants need a culture change. They have Saquon and Daniel Jones. They're young up and comers. They both. I mean, obviously Saquon's an animal. Daniel Jones has showed flashes. He's gonna be a starting quarterback. He's gonna be good enough.
But not
at minimum, he'll be good enough at least this next 7-8 years.
Yeah.
But
Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls being average. So
yeah,
if Eli Manning can do it, Daniel Jones can do it. He's way more athletic.
Exactly. So you go and hire, like you could have said, I hired, and then make up a name. Just make up a name up. He played D2 football he played D3 football at Salisbury. I'd be like, cool, better than Jason fucking Garrett. Like, come on. Like, why would you hire Jason Garrett? Jason Garrett. They didn't have an offense until they had Zeke in that offensive line. He can't scheme up anything. There's no scheme. When Amari Cooper went off this year, guarantee you.
What are his plays? Like, I'm interested to see that.
Guarantee you that's not going to happen in New York. Like it's not it, Chief.
It is an interesting hire.
The Giants should draft Jerry Jeudy. Side note.
That would be savage.
They need some wide receivers in that fucking place.
That would be savage.
Yeah, we've had the same wide receivers, and I mean, it's just.
Does Victor Cruz still play for the Giants?
No, Victor Cruz is out. He doesn't play for nobody.
All I can remember is that motherfucker salsa dancing.
Yeah,
I don't remember anything
he was the
cool
Odell
that he did
before Odell.
Yeah, he never did anything good or cool. Like anytime he would do anything slightly okay, salsa dance.
Yeah, when you
he had a couple nice touchdown passes that were deep, and he would just celly really hard, which I don't mind because I'm a big celly guy myself. But he was Odell before Odell came to the Giants. Like that was Victor Cruz's thing. So
I don't know, Phil. I don't know if you're trying to one up IT and Randy Moss, but Victor Cruz retired like a long time ago.
Yeah, like a long. They traded him too.
That's how irrelevant the Giants
he went to
are.
the Bears. Yo, they traded I remember that because my dad was friends with one of like the offensive coordinators, like one of the training facility guys, and he went to the 49ers. So
all right,
they
boys,
traded a bunch of random people.
I'm catching a quick buzz right now. All right, get off my back.
Now you're dumb before that.
I mean, I'm just stupid, but that's besides the point.
At least he didn't. Well,
no, honestly, like that's how much I pay attention to the Giants. I know they have Saquon, Evan Ingram, and Daniel Jones, and other than that, I probably couldn't name another person on their roster. Landon Collins.
And they're 2-0. Landon Collins is on the Redskins.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Oh wait, he went.
They got rid of him.
Oh, he used to be on. Fuck you guys.
The Redskins handed him a checkbook and said, "How much money do you want? Come play for us."
Yes, come play. Yeah.
He used to be on the Giants. Went to the Redskins.
You're right.
Good job. So did Y.A. Tittle. He used to be on the Giants too in the 50s.
Who?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
did Eric Flowers.
So did Eric Flowers.
All right, everybody, calm the fuck down. I'm a little bit off kilter this episode.
Does Jeremy Shockey still play for the Giants?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Dude?
My name's Phil.
Rondé Barber, dude.
So in other NFL news, actually a good hire. Pat Shurmur is the Broncos offensive coordinator now. Drew Lock with Pat Shurmur got Case Keenum to be serviceable enough to go to an NFC Championship game. He's going to make Drew Lock put up numbers. It's going to be awesome to watch.
You know what's going to be awesome to watch? The Broncos go 8-8 next year.
It's a rebuild. I mean, 8-8 would be, they're 7-9 this year. 8-8 is technically progress. I mean, they got Philip Lindsay.
Yeah.
They got Philip Lindsay. They got Drew Lock, a decent offensive line. Their defense alone won them a Super Bowl once. Now they have Bradley Chubb. They have who's lived up to hype. He's a savage. Obviously, Von Miller. The Broncos have the defense. Now it's just they traded. They traded both their receivers actually. So, but Courtland Sutton's good. They got two solid tight ends, Noah Fant and Jake Butt. So it's really they need a big play receiver. Maybe one or two more offensive line pieces that could be upgrades that they could be good. Again, I mean the Vikings had Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen and Dalvin Cook and all these people, but Pat Shurmur made Case Keenum, who I love Case Keenum, but he's not someone that you would expect to take a team to NFC Championship. So Drew Lock is infinitely better than he is. So
we know Kirk Cousins isn't taking him to a divisional or an AFC championship or NFC championship anytime soon.
Absolutely.
We hate Kirk Cousins on this podcast. Kirk Cousins, if you ever hear this, you're a huge piece of shit and you should just retire, dude. We're tired of talking about you. We're never interviewing you.
He doesn't season his meat. He doesn't season his meat when he grills. That's enough.
Fucking scumbag.
All the dads right now are just shaking in their Air Monarchs about how pissed that he doesn't use seasoning.
They're out mowing the lawn.
They're out mowing their lawns.
Like, yo,
they just heard that. They're like, what?
Doesn't season his fuking meat. Every dad in the whole world just got chills down their back right now. They're like, oh fuck, someone's not seasoning their meat right now.
He grilled meat that was unseasoned. I couldn't tell you what cut of meat it was. It looked like human liver, and it was on aluminum foil on top. Didn't even want the grill marks. He just wanted aluminum foil.
The only thing you put aluminum foil on your grill for is potatoes.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Maybe some peppers, but that's about
onions, it. Get those going.
Hey, you gotta throw potatoes and onions. You gotta throw onions and peppers into the potatoes on the grill because that's how you get that nice juicy flavor.
When's the grill going? When's the Janitors grill set?
Hey, when are you guys coming over? I got steak stuff ready to go.
Right now, let's go.
So what about these the AFC Championship and NFC Championship today?
The Chiefs beat the shit out of the Titans.
First game was trash.
Yeah, Titans. They had a lot of luck in the first couple games, good game plans, but how the fuck do you game plan for Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Travis Kelce, Damian Williams, and the man himself, Patrick Mahomes? Yeah, you can't game plan against that. Their entire offense is a weapon.
Pat Mahomes says, fuck your game plan.
Yeah, you can't game plan against him. They shut him down it was the same thing as the LSU Clemson game. They shut him down for the first couple drives. They didn't really know what situations were going to work best for the offense, and then Patrick Mahomes started throwing outside. He started throwing deep outs.
Yeah, he started off really shit, and then he ended up going 23 for 35. I think it was like
and
almost
Pat
300
Mahomes,
yards.
You can 30-yard touchdown run.
You can game plan that run, that touchdown
run. That run was disgusting.
That's gonna be the equivalent of John Elway getting helicoptered when he dove in the Super Bowl in the 90s. That's gonna be that equivalent. The way he ran backwards, then ran to the left sideline and just beat feet and trucked his way into the end zone. That's an all-time great run and an all-time great situation. Pat Mahomes, he's a Madden player, dude. You can't game plan because you dial up a good blitz, he breaks the tackle, runs back 20 yards, runs to the right sideline, and throws it 70 yards to the left hash mark to Tyreek Hill, who just gets open. They play backyard football. Just get open. That's what You can't game plan for that.
In the huddle, they're like, all right, I'm going to say a bunch of shit at the line of scrimmage and then just get fucking open, dude.
He's like, I'm going to say some colors and some numbers. Tyreek just...
Color, blue and Eason.
He's probably just, like, saying nonsense because he knows Tyreek is just... doesn't even... If you're Tyreek Hill, your job is easy. You don't even have to read the playbook. You're running a streak.
Just run. You're either running a deep cross or a streak every time. No questions. And maybe one or two deep ends. That's about it.
In our analysis, especially in my analysis, all decade teams and up until this point, my biggest thing is can you step up to the situation in the playoffs? So I picked Tuukka Rask as my goalie.
How do you handle that pressure?
Pat Mahomes, Tyreek Hill.
Makes sense.
Travis Kelce, they all step up. There's not a stage too big for him. That I've not seen a stage too big for him yet. Nobody has.
Yeah, they've already been there. They know what they're getting into.
Also, it's the Chiefs' first Super Bowl appearance since
1969.
69. And Mahomes just took that game over at the end. So Mike Vrabel is a great game planner. They were up early. They went for it on fourth down, and when they could have kicked the field goal, they went up for it on fourth down, ended up getting the first, ended up scoring a touchdown later. So the Titans had a good game plan. Mahomes just took over, and the Chiefs defense.
Your defense has to be exceptional, or your offense has to keep pace. Like that's the same thing with the Patriots last year in the AFC Championship. You have to keep pace with that offense. If you don't, you're gonna lose. Your defense is not getting stops consistently on that offense. There's just no way. What are you gonna do? If you double Tyreek over top, guess who's open? Travis Kelce. If you double Travis Kelce over top, guess who's open? Tyreek Hill. You can run the ball. You can throw underneath to Mecole Hardman. What are you gonna do against this team? I couldn't honestly tell you. Like with watching the Ravens earlier in the year, I was like, oh, easy, too easy. You just run a 5-3 bear, and you just shut down all of the run game, because Lamar's arm is not special. He's got a decent enough arm to be in the NFL, but his arm talent is not like Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think there's anyone in the league that's arm talent. Not even Aaron Rodgers is Patrick Mahomes.
So Aaron Rodgers has the most clean pocket passing arm talent in the league. Patrick Mahomes can just throw it over his back shoulder, sprinting like behind his back, left-handed for 60 yards. He's just it's unreal. I just don't understand how he does it. But
the Titans,
it's just crazy. I'm just saying, like, you can game plan against the Ravens because you know they're primarily going to run the ball. But with the Chiefs, you know they're going to pass it, but to who? They have three weapons that you never know.
To whom?
And then if Patrick Mahomes is uncomfortable, he just runs down the sideline for a first and gets out of bounds. That's it. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do about it.
In episode 2, we agreed that the Titans would have to possess the ball for about 15 minutes more than the Chiefs. They did not take our advice.
Nope.
They only possessed the ball for 20 seconds more than it was 30 minutes and 10 seconds to 29:50. So
way to go, Mike Vrabel.
Maybe if
Mike
Vrabel listened to the Janitors, he'd be in the Super Bowl right now.
Dude, a lot of
just
people
saying.
listen to the Janitors.
Most likely.
Their lives would be way better. So like and subscribe.
The JanitorsPodcast.com. Also on Spotify.
Also on Apple Podcasts. Also on Spotify.
Is that good?
Is that good?
And then the 49ers, dude. Oh my God.
I mean, what are you going to say about this game? They just ran them out of the building, literally. They literally ran them out of the building.
If I told you Jimmy Garoppolo was 6 for 8 with 77 yards and no touchdowns, and told you that they won 30, they put up 37, you'd be like,
no fucking way.
On what? On how? But Raheem Mostert, he's a Madden god. Those of us who grind Madden would know. 220 yards and 4 touchdowns. He had, 180 in the first half?
167.
He beat the 49ers single-game playoff rushing record in the first half. And if you think about it, 49ers have 5 rings, and he just dusted a playoff record in one half of football. Jimmy, for a while, they were showing the least passes thrown in a playoff win. Jimmy Garoppolo is at the time he was tied for second least. And then, of course, they had to throw it to George Kittle one time. But the 49ers, the Packers looked, for a team that's a lot of veterans, like Aaron Rodgers, they looked lost.
Aaron Rodgers looked like a rookie.
They looked absolutely lost out there. The stupid penalties, like the bad timing, offside penalties, ineligible receiver downfield like Corey Linsley, who's a veteran. Like they just it looked like they weren't prepared. I don't know if they underestimated the 49ers. I don't know if they counted their chickens before they hatched. I don't know what it was. Maybe the 49ers are just that fucking good.
I can tell you right now that Aaron Rodgers straight up, he missed throws, easy throws. He missed throws underneath.
I think he missed
throws. He missed throws over top, and he could not look off a safety tonight. He tried to look off Mosley on that one deep route to Devontae, and he straight up the safety just stood there, and he just shaded Devontae Adams, and then Aaron tried to look him off, and the safety just stepped up. That was it. Mosley picked it off. Done. Play over. You're a veteran of this league for 17 years now, and you can't look off a safety and look somewhere else or make a throw underneath. Get out of here, dude. Nobody on the Packers was prepared for this game.
Yeah,
nobody. From coaching down, it was brutal.
Yeah, we were talking about being the stage being too big. LaFleur was looking. He looked like he got punched in the mouth. He did get punched in the mouth. He didn't know what to do.
I mean, the Packers are the Packers. They're going to be decent every year, but that coaching staff has to take a deep look at themselves and figure out how to actually prepare this team to go in and play big games.
First-year head coach.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. IT, you got any football news?
Not any football news, but it is sad to see Aaron Rodgers, go out like that because he is one of the greatest of our lifetime. And also, I was watching where there was he was supposed to be drafted by the 49ers, and there was a thing where he was like, they're gonna regret the day they didn't draft me, and that would have been really cool for him to beat them to go to the Super Bowl, but it sucks to see it. And my friend Yeffer is a big Green Bay Packers fan, so I'm not surprised I haven't heard back from him yet because he probably punched a hole in the wall by now, or he's out burning cars. I don't know. We'll figure it out tomorrow. There's a lot of damage done.
Flipping mattresses or burning mattresses.
Yeah, but no, it's sad to see. But hey, I'm excited. Super Bowl should be interesting, but at the same time, could not be.
Hey, it's a sport. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose.
Exactly.
That's the way that it goes.
The better prepared team won.
I'm just ready for the team.
Yeah.
I'm about the team. It's a team sport.
49ers Packers, that was the better prepared team won.
Yeah.
Titans Chiefs, the better skilled, the more highly skilled team won.
Yep.
Because Mike Vrabel prepares. The Titans were prepared.
Yeah.
They just couldn't. You can't keep up sometimes. Any other football news? No.
I think I'm good. I think we can jump into the NHL.
Yeah.
Chell time,
let's
baby.
head over to the Chell world.
So, surprising as fire, Vegas, 2 points out of first place, or 3 points out of first place. In a tight division, the Pacific is tight.
Very tight.
Everybody has a shot at the playoffs in the division.
Yeah.
Except for, or the top 5 teams. But they fired Gerard Gallant. Pretty shocking.
Very shocking.
They're 24-19-6. Appeared in the Cup their first year of existence. Playoffs their first 2 years, and this is only the third season. So they are 100% playoff appearances. They said it was performance-based. Don't know how the fuck that's a thing. They got Pete DeBoer from the Sharks, so maybe it was just that's their guy, and they're like, it's time. We got to get him.
Dude, they have 57 points, though.
If I just said this no-name coach, whatever, think of a name, went 118, 75, and 20 in 2.5 seasons with an NHL team, took them to a cup final and the playoffs, and I told you they fired him.
And it's an expansion team.
What the fuck?
Playoffs?
This is my first reaction. I was like, yo, why? What
playoffs?
Performance based my ass.
Yeah.
He must have been fucking somebody's wife. Jesus Christ, dude.
They have 57 points right now. And
what
first
did
place
they do
is
wrong?
58.
They're winning. They're an expansion team. They straight up just pulled people off rosters that they think that would make good pieces. They went to a cup final. You fucking kidding me? You think this coach isn't going to take you somewhere when he gets more cap space and more development in players?
It's not coaching.
Get out of here, dude.
It's players. It's not coaching.
Performance-based, my ass.
Making the playoffs year one as an expansion team is unheard of. Making the Stanley Cup Finals and giving the Caps a run for their money.
Yeah, it was a good
year
run.
One of people. I don't know if everybody knows. For expansion drafts, you can either protect 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and a goalie, or 4 forwards, 4 defensemen, and a goalie. The math doesn't quite add up, but that's how they do it. So everybody on the Knights that year, obviously Marc-Andre Fleury is different. He's a GOAT, but they didn't want to give up Matt Murray. But everybody else was either between the 5th and 8th best forward on every team.
Yeah.
Or between the 4th and 5th best defenseman on every team. So their number one defenseman was a third pair D on another team. And with that coaching, that development, they made the Stanley Cup year one. If that's me, that coach is getting a lifetime deal. Unless they were abysmal this year and they're like, it's time, you're gone. But they're 1 point out of first. A Stanley Cup appearance and a playoff appearance.
And they just traded for Mark Stone last year, too.
Right.
Mark Stone. This guy's a stud.
Stud Buffin.
Like, what are they doing in Vegas?
And if it's a situation, I mean, the GM or the owner, maybe they said he's not. Maybe, I mean, again, we're speculating. People are making a lot of fucking money to make these decisions, but sounds pretty stupid from the outside. I would love to know what's going on inside.
Hell yeah.
Why would he's not a part of their future plans?
And why is Pete DeBoer?
Yeah, what did he do for the Sharks?
What did he do for anybody?
Oh, hasn't won a cup? Has he even made it to a final?
Yes, 2012 with the Devils.
Devils beat them.
As a Shark.
Oh, I thought you meant
As a Shark is what I was saying.
Yeah, he's the coach of the Devils.
He was,
but,
yeah.
And the Sharks, there is no excuse for the Sharks not making it.
The Sharks were disgusting.
Absolute
They
filth.
were.
They didn't. I don't think he made a cup final once.
No.
His career head coach record is 415, 329, and 111.
Yeah.
And that's pretty damn good. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. That's exactly.
He went 118, 75, and 20 in his first 2.5 years with the team and took him to a final and a playoff appearance. And he was probably going to take him to another playoff appearance again this year. So what the fuck did this guy? This guy must have done something extremely wrong.
Yeah, it's got to be maybe he said something. I honestly have no idea. It's that shock. It's like
I literally don't even know what else it could be. He must have been fucking somebody's wife in the front office.
It's got to come down to
the only thing that I could think that like what else could this guy have done? He's a couple points out of second place, going to the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. They got their star player last year.
So this is perfectly leads into my next question for you guys. IT, I'll go to you first. So there's been 7 coaches fired this year. Actually, this question was brought up by my wife. Said 7 coaches have been fired this year. Who's the next one? Who do you think the next one to get fired is? IT, what do you think?
Well, I mean, to get fired, like fired from the job.
Who's next?
Oh, there's some shit teams. How's Detroit looking over there?
They're having a historically bad season. They're about to break the Avs record for worst team.
I would probably say maybe Detroit goes with another. I mean,
maybe Gerard Gallant, old Vegas coach.
See, the thing is, like, the Devils are gonna change coaching, but it's not gonna be a firing because they just have an interim head coach right now. So I can't say that. But I don't. That's a really tough question. I'm gonna have to let me think a few seconds on that one.
I think the Red Wings.
I would have to say Detroit.
But I don't know if it would be. if I'm the Red Wings GM, you've seen Gallant's resume.
It's Steve Yzerman, by the way.
Steve Yzerman, stud. You see Gerard Gallant's track record. You're in the middle of a rebuild. Why? Maybe he's perfect. Maybe he's perfect for the job. Honestly, when I thought this question, I said, who do I think is going to get fired? Right? Claude Julien with the Canadiens, because they haven't done shit in a long time. And they're an original 6 team. They don't fuck around with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I said the Red Wings are having a historically bad season.
And how long have the Red Wings had
Blashill?
Jeff Blashill?
I had to Google it because I didn't even know who he was.
Isn't it Jeff Blashill?
Yeah.
So
I didn't even know who he was.
I think he's been with them for at least 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I think it was 2015 is when he got hired.
Oh, dude, then that's definitely my pick. I absolutely can see that. I can see that, right? Yeah, that's my pick. Detroit. You heard it here first.
Phil, what do you think?
Hot take.
So I would say Detroit too. My next pick after that would probably have to be Bruce Boudreau in Minnesota, because Minnesota has been drastically underwhelming for a long time. They're a point behind, so they're in last place in the Pacific right now. So they're a point down on the Predators, who are also having a historically underwhelming season for all that talent.
You wanna try that sentence again?
Spaghetti.
You just said they're in the Pacific.
Hold the
Central Division.
Are they in the Central?
Pull up the
Wild.
Disregard.
Yeah,
I goofed again.
Central, yeah.
I goofed again. All right, let's calm down, everybody.
No,
Yeah,
we're good. It can't top my goof. We're good.
I think episode 3 might be Phil's last.
Phil, we might have to replace you. No, I was kidding.
Shit, dude. No, I'm just the biz of this podcast. My fucking brain just stops working. Anyways, Bruce Boudreau, 22. As of right now, they're 22, 20, and 6. So they're a point out of, or they're in last place by a point to the Predators, who are 22, 18, and 7, and the Predators have a game in hand on the Wild.
Go Avs.
Yeah, so they're both of them are not having great seasons at all. So yeah, I would say Bruce Boudreau, if not Detroit.
Yeah, the Wild are a good one too because they went out. I mean, they have a lot of veterans that they, in theory, should be good. They have a good goalie, Dubnyk, solid. They went and got Zuccarello, who's solid. There's no reason for them to be in last place again. Granted, the Central is a hard division to play in, and I don't know what their schedule looks like.
It's pretty tight. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, first place 68 points. The Blues.
Yeah, Blues, Avs, Blackhawks.
But then the next is 60, and then the next from that is 58, 54. So
yeah,
it's really not
it's
that
Blues,
tight.
Avs, Stars, Jets, Blackhawks, Predators, Wild.
There's not a bad team in the division. So I don't know what the Wild schedule looks like. Maybe they had a tough schedule to this point.
22 and 20 and 6.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to be that bad still, especially after who they've gone out and gotten.
It's just their goals
Zach
against.
Greasy
They have 159 goals against.
And team defense, not big team guys.
Yeah, and only 148 goals for. I mean, yeah, it's just comes down to
not janitors.
Underperforming. They're underperforming.
They're not janitors.
I mean, look at the Jets. The Jets only have 54 points, and look who they have on their team. I mean,
the Jets are a team that's going to sneak into the playoffs too, and then they're going to make some noise because
they're just sneaky good, dude.
They're close to the Stars. They're only 4 points out. They'll catch up to them, and then the Avs are going to take off as always. Now it's a new standard for the Avs.
Oh, the Avs are going to win the cup this year. Calling it now. You heard it here first, folks. The Janitors Podcast. This is Matt talking. Avs in 6 in the cup. Not a big deal.
The viewers couldn't hear. I had to turn it down a little bit. Technical issues.
Well, we know for sure that the Devils aren't making the playoffs.
Yeah, Devils aren't going to do anything. We're just going to rebuild, and they'll take time. And
Well, if it's
next episode, I'm going to break down the Devils and what they need to do. Don't worry, it's coming for you guys.
it's big time coming. IT's going to lead next episode with his Devils rebuild.
It's coming.
Phil, I could totally see it being Bruins Avs, and we would have to live stream us watching that together.
Dude, that would break my heart.
We'll have a
Because
barbecue.
I have so much love for the Avs, but obviously the Bruins are my hometown team. But I lived in Colorado for so long. Like, that would break my heart to have to pick. I would have to go with the Bruins because my hometown team.
Yeah.
So last episode we talked about the whole Zach Cassian and Kachuk episode. So
the
Zach
Battle
Cassian,
of Alberta.
it's back, and I love it. I love every second of it. Zach Cassian ended up catching a sussy out of it. Got suspended. I was kind of surprised that Kachuk didn't get anything. I mean, the hits, you could say they were clean, but he started it at the end of the day. I think if the hit was on a star player, say if Kachuk had hit McDavid like that, Kachuk's getting
a 5-game sussy.
He's getting suspended. Zach Cassian is obviously their most physical player. Yeah. So because it's physical player on physical player, they took it easy on Kachuk. If Kachuk is hitting McDavid or Draisaitl like that, suspension. No questions asked.
That play is so fucking dirty these days too, especially in the brand of hockey that's played now. You cannot come around the net like that and just clap someone when they're turning. So like basically what Kachuk did is he like Cassian was coming around the net and Kachuk came in and hit him like head on when he like didn't have a chance to get his head up yet because he's coming around the net. It's dirty as fuck. If you do that to anybody, you should get your head cleaned off.
I would have been okay with neither of them getting suspended or both of them getting suspended.
Yeah. You can't give one suspension out there. That's crazy.
Equal, yeah. They were also chirping all night. Yeah.
If they both got suspended,
just because Kachuk's a pussy and wouldn't drop his fucking gloves and throw hands with him because he knew he would have gotten his ass beat.
Yeah, Zach Cassian said, "Where I come from, you drop the gloves after that." So, I mean, if both of them got 2 or 3 games, I wouldn't be surprised. I would probably say that's fair. If they actually care about player safety, 2 or 3 games for both of them. Even if like Cassian got 3 and Kachuk got 2, because Cassian technically had the penalty, or if they said it's hockey, bro, and both of them got nothing, I would have been okay with that too. But Cassian getting
it's a little crazy.
Yeah.
I had on the note of things. So I have a Brad Marchand quote on Twitter. I thought this was fucking hilarious.
He chirped himself. I love it.
Did he forget a couple letters or something behind or what?
So he chirped. So he chirped himself, which was newer. It was more recent to today's podcast, which is the 19th. Also, he chirped a fan because he posted a picture of himself after he won the cup on his Twitter, and a fan said, I have the exact quote. He said, "That's great and all, but at least I can pick the puck up cleanly in the shootout. Also, I'm sure last night went over real well in the group chat." And Marchand replied to him and said, "Your shootout is in your driveway, not the NHL, peasant. You pretend to be me in your backyard. Dream big, bud." And I think that's fucking hilarious.
You'll love to see it.
Look, first of all, Brad Marchand is, I'm pretty sure he's top 10 in points right now, and he's had a rough couple games.
Is that good?
Is that good? Is that good being top 10 in points in the NHL? I'm not sure anymore.
I don't know.
And he's had a rough couple games. Shit happens, dude. Maybe after they fucking redid the ice in the shootout, because they do that, they go over the ice a couple times, so sometimes it'll be a little wet and sticky.
A little slippery,
yeah. It's tough to get the fucking puck off.
Yeah,
because it happens in warm-ups to me in my men's league. You go to pick the puck up, and the puck just stops because it's soaked. And the puck it doesn't glide well when it's soaking wet.
Well, it's sloshing water.
I'm also a plug, so that's probably another reason.
Yeah.
But
can't even backskate.
Well, like, how are you going to chirp this dude for having a rough couple games? This dude's
got his first tattoo.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, I love it.
Anyways,
Phil just got his first
I
tattoo.
had a couple of injury updates. Big time goalies. So Carter Hart is out 2 to 3 weeks with an abdominal strain.
Sucks.
And Tuukka Rask is out with a concussion for a few weeks. That elbow was fucking dirty.
Yeah.
I'm a Bruins fan, so obviously I'm gonna be partial to this, but like
Nah,
That was dirty as fuck.
I hate the Bruins, and who did it?
It's I think it was Columbus. Somebody on Columbus.
I fucking hate the Bruins, and I was like, that's dirty.
He straight up stuck his elbow out as he was going by. What the fuck, dude? Like, for one, that's a goalie. That's like sacred rule in hockey. You don't fuck with the goalie, and if you do, you're dropping the mitts. You're fighting. It's happening. You do not fuck with goalies.
I'm coming off the bench to fight someone at that point.
Oh dude, fuck yeah!
Dropping him on the bench.
I should find out real quick who actually did.
To clarify, you said Carter Hart. I said sucks. I didn't mean Carter Hart sucks. I said it sucks that he's hurt.
Dude, he's trash.
No matter how much
Carter
I hate
Hart
it, I'll never wish injury on someone. Because at the end of the day, they're people. They're all people.
Except the Taliban. Fuck the Taliban.
Fuck Taliban.
You heard it here first.
IT, you got any other...
It was Columbus. It was Emil Bemstrom. Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah,
Never heard of her.
Who are you?
Never heard of her. While Tuukka Rask is out here being a Vezina candidate. Is that good?
Is that good? How are you?
Is that good?
How are you? Is that good?
So my last piece of news today. The San Francisco Giants hired the first woman assistant coach in MLB history.
Wow.
Which it's pretty big. As me and Phil are surrounded by women in our lives. I got a daughter on the way. Had a daughter in the past. Both got wives. Both big married.
Big family vibes.
So I'm a by proxy feminist now. So I looked her up. I was like, oh, that's cool. I do this with everybody. It has nothing to do with gender. If they hired a dude, I would have looked up his credentials. But she played college softball at Sacramento State. D1, is that good? Worked for University of South Florida, USF Bulls. Is that good?
Is that good?
Joined the team as an intern in 2014. She worked in scouting and player development from 2014 to now.
Is that good? I'm not sure. Is that good to have a female in scouting? I'm not sure. Is that good?
So she worked for it. She earned it. Like, she has a resume. D1 college softball player, coached D1, worked in the organization for 5 or 6 years in scouting and player development. She, that's good for her, good for the Giants, good for baseball. Like, a lot of people, some people would think, oh, they're just forcing a woman into that position. Maybe they hired the best possible candidate. That's also a thing.
Yeah.
She
closed the door and let them speak.
Because if you said D1 athlete, coached D1, interim coach, and worked their way up to the rankings in the organization, and is now an assistant coach, take gender out of it. You're like, yeah, sounds qualified.
Yeah.
So,
they know the business, they know the game. Why not?
Yeah. So good for the Giants and good for her. There's been a few like female football assistant coaches. There's female refs now.
In basketball, there's female refs, yeah. Right?
I'm about here at the Janitors, we're all about getting the job done. So best candidate. It could be a coyote. It could be a butterfly. If the butterfly is the best candidate, we're getting the butterfly.
Butterfly up.
Big team guy. The butterfly's a big team guy.
Spread those wings. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly, Matt. That was about my exact take on it. I mean, it just comes down to hire the best candidate, and if he, she, it, whatever these, whatever the gender term is for you, if you're the best candidate, you should get the job. Plain and simple. Like, actually, to bring this up, I saw the commercial during football today where it was like this female got passed up for the job in a boys only club, and then she got a job interview from interview.com, and I was like, bro, why? It's not a thing, dude. Like, a lot of bigger corporations now have realized that females are just as good as dudes when it comes to certain things. Like, just hire the best candidate. Why's it got to be a dude?
We don't. To quote Billy Bean, I hate losing more than I like winning. So, honestly, we don't give a fuck around here what you look like or who you are. If you're going to get the job done, if you're going to make us win, we're all about it.
Speaking of winning, we should do this last topic real quick. So I'm going to give you some stats on
Lay it on me.
on the NHL during Mr. Wayne Gretzky's 92.
Oh, you
90
bitch.
Oh, you can't.
I got the.
This is gonna be
I knew.
another hour.
I wasn't gonna bring it up. I wasn't gonna bring it up.
I'll bring it
No,
up.
what?
I'm here for this.
You don't have enough time for this.
I'm here for this.
I have a whole
We have
page.
time for this.
I have a whole page
All right,
written down.
this podcast is gonna
All right.
go to 2 hours.
All
I
right.
don't give a fuck.
First off,
Fuck.
Wayne Gretzky is the greatest to do it in his time period. I'll say that.
Fair statement.
But he is not and will not go down as the greatest of all time.
Oh, Ovechkin will be the greatest of all time when it's all said and done.
Oh, I'm glad you agree. Perfect. You've already made my point. But so your point that you constantly make to me is that you can't compare the 80s to now when it comes to greatness just because they were in this era.
And that's the same thing I say about basketball. Why you can't compare Kareem with Jordan with LeBron? It's just different.
I mean, yeah, it is different. So here's my argument for why Wayne Gretzky scored so many goals in his tenure. So stats on the NHL in 1981 to 82. The average save percentage in the league was .871. Is that good? No, it's not.
Not good.
Not good. Trash.
The league average for shutouts, the entire NHL, 1.
Not good.
Not
One
good.
shutout.
Trash.
One
Not
shutout
good.
per team. In 2019, 2020, correction, this would be 18-19 because I got full season stats. The average save percentage in the NHL, .905.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Sounds about okay.
Average shutouts per team, 5. It's also
Solid.
pretty good.
That's actually
good.
solid. Yeah, that's not bad.
So in 1981-82, average goals per team and goals allowed per team were 321. In 18-19, average goals per team and goals allowed per team were 244.
So goalies sucked.
Yeah, goalies.
Goalies
look at their
were terrible.
pads.
Okay.
That's my argument.
They
Are you
were
ready
wearing
for mine?
pillows.
Goalie technology has drastically changed. Goalie training has drastically changed.
Okay.
If Wayne Gretzky had to shoot on goalies like we have today, I played goalie in a men's league, and I probably could have done okay against Wayne Gretzky.
Are you ready why you're wrong?
I'm not wrong.
For
I'm
the
not wrong.
viewers on
I just gave you
podcast,
stats.
Matt just rolled up his sleeves.
I see what you're saying, and I agree. Goalies weren't as good. You have very fair, very solid, backed with stats points. Now, let Stat Guy Matt lay some shit on you, because like this was not that long ago. This wasn't. So
20, 30 years ago?
So our number one fan, also knows my stepdad, said typical fucking Boston guy hating on Wayne Gretzky. So I didn't, it wouldn't even occur to me that we'd bring this up again. But I was sitting there running chill, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna be prepared just in case Phil brings it up.
Of course I'll bring it up.
So Stat Guy Matt got to getting fucking stats. Are you ready?
Let's hear it.
1981, 1982. Okay? Wayne Gretzky had 1.15 goals per game. That's 92. Second place.
That's goals, not points. Stack I Matt fucked up.
I'm getting to it. Are you ready? Are you going to let me talk?
Is that good?
Because I have it right
All
now.
right, Shannon Sharp, calm down. Jesus Christ.
1.15 goals per game for Gretzky. Second place, Mike Bossy with 0.8. That's 92 to 64. Keep that in the back of your head. Points, Gretzky had 2.65 per game. Bossy, also second in that, 1.83. So that's a difference of 0.35 goals, which makes it 92 to 64, which is 28 more goals. Points was 0.81, which is 212 to 147 for 55 more points. Okay? So I wrote that down, right? I said, who's the second best player of all time? Mario Lemieux, right? Would you say, fair to say he's second best of all time?
I agree.
So I said, let me go to HockeyDB. Let me type in Mario Lemieux. Couldn't spell it. Had to help me out. And I said, sort by goals. Let's see the most goals and most points he scored in a season. That would be 1988, 1989. So, Lemieux, 1.11 goals per season. Goals per game, sorry. Can't talk. Second place was Bernie Nichols. That's .23. Okay. Lemieux had 1.11 goals. Bernie Nichols had 0.88. That's a .23 per game difference. Lemieux had 85. Bernie Nichols had 70. That's a 15 difference. So, Wayne Gretzky's top season, he had 28 more goals than the next guy. Lemieux, second best player of all time, the most difference was 15. So that shows, just on goals alone, Wayne Gretzky set himself apart even more than the second best player of all time.
In 1981-82, where goalies were trash.
But that's why I compared the second best goal getter. Because if Wayne Gretzky had 1.15 a game and Mike Bossy was right behind him, that would be more valid. But he had Gretzky in his best season had 28 goals more than the next guy. And I didn't even look up the most separation they had from the second place. I just looked up Gretzky and Lemieux, most goals they both had. Gretzky had 28 more than the next guy. Lemieux had 15 more than the next guy. So I looked up also points. Lemieux 2.61 per game. Gretzky 2.15 per game in the 88-89 season. That's .46. So Lemieux had 31 points more than Gretzky. So Gretzky's highest point tally had 55 more than the next guy. Lemieux, the second best player of all time, was 31 more than the next guy. So you're right that the goalies weren't as good. Obviously, technology's evolved, training has evolved, all that. But the level of dominance, the separation between Gretzky and the next guy versus Lemieux and the next guy. Gretzky, even for his era, was even with all the goals that were scored and everybody else was facing the same level of competition. So the shooters are the same. The constant is the shooters. The changing is the goalies. Everybody faced the same goalies. Mike Bossy faced the same goalies that Wayne Gretzky faced. But Wayne Gretzky had 28 goals more than him and 55 points more than him on the season, when Lemieux, in his era, faced the same goalies and was the same shooters as everybody else faced. Obviously, Lemieux's the second most dominant player of all time, but the difference between the way he led the league and the way Gretzky led the league in their best season, that's a 13-goal difference between first and second place for Gretzky and Lemieux. So then on top of that, Gretzky played 21 seasons. Lemieux played 17. Gretzky had 9 Hart trophies. He won 7 Harts in a row. So despite the goalies being trash, the goalie equipment being trash, the goalie training being trash, he was that much more dominant than everybody else that played with him. That's what I'm looking at more, is who else is playing with him. It's against if he scored 92 and someone scored 90, it wouldn't be impressive. But he scored 92 and someone scored 64. And to put in perspective, last season, Ovi led the league in goals with .63 per game. I think it was 51 on the season. Draisaitl had .61 per game. He had 50 on the season. So, Ovi's the most dominant goal scorer, but there's someone right behind him. Gretzky was the most dominant goal scorer, and the next guy, closest guy, was 28 goals behind him.
Yeah, and but it's because talent now is better than it was then. Overall talent.
Right.
You can say the same thing with Mario Lemieux's era.
So to continue on what I was saying, Gretzky had 9 Hart trophies, 7 in a row. Lemieux had 3 total in 17 seasons. So Gretzky was 7 times in a row and 9 times total the best player in the league. The second best player of all time in his 17 years was only voted the best player 3 times. Gretzky, Art Ross Trophy, for those who don't know, the most points in the league, also won 7 in a row and 10 overall. Lemieux had 6 total. So that shows, I don't know, the 10 out of 21 versus 6 out of 17. Gretzky was a little bit better there. And the biggest one, Gretzky Cups 4, Lemieux Cups 3. So you're not wrong. I'm not disagreeing with you that the goalies and the training and everything is so much different. but the level of dominance that Gretzky achieved compared to the other best players that he played with, they were facing the same shit goalies. Gretzky, the level of dominance was way fucking different. And you, when you're on Xbox, you said he wouldn't last in today's league, which is probably fucking true because, like, people are bigger, faster, stronger, better skills, better training, better equipment, everything.
Yeah.
But same thing I say about basketball. Some people think Kareem is the GOAT. Some people think Jordan is the GOAT. Some people think LeBron or Kobe are the GOAT. But it's just fucking hard. All you have to do is measure. That's why I took it upon myself to measure the dominance against the rest of the field, not comparing LeBron stats with Kareem stats or Jordan stats because it's fucking different. And the 70s and 80s and early 90s, LeBron would be playing a true small forward. LeBron's basically a point guard now. It's completely fucking different.
Yeah, also, they could hand check, and it was a lot more physical back in the day.
Right. So that's why it's hard to compare sheer stats from different eras.
You gotta compare who they're playing.
That's why I took it the next level of comparing that person to the rest of the field. Also, this past season, the points leader was Kucherov, had 1.56 a game. McDavid 1.49. So
Yeah.
I think we both make good arguments.
No, you do. We'll leave it up to the viewers to decide. Viewers.
Yeah, I stand by it, but I mean, he's still the greatest to do it in his era. But I don't think he's the best to ever do it.
I absolutely think Ovechkin, when it's all said and done, I think we'll be saying Ovechkin is the greatest to ever do it, and
greatest goal scorer. We should clarify.
Yeah.
Because early in his career, that man did not play any type of defense.
Right.
That man's back check was trash.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
better.
As he's gotten older, he's gotten more physical and more hustly because he's like, fuck, I'm getting older. I got to step it up.
Yeah.
So.
But not a big team deal.
But on that, I think that about wraps up the show.
Yeah. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. We are now on Apple and Spotify podcasts. We have a website as well at thejanitorspodcast.com. Yeah, we have our YouTube. You already know about that. We've been pumping that out. Make sure you follow us, share us, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, and you want to send it out, Matt?
One more thing, we have some video game content in the works, and I got our first guest agreed to call in. He's a very busy man, so it's just a matter of getting a time that works for all four of us. Also, Danny comes back soon. Probably the least interesting person. He's kind of trashed at everything.
Yeah. But we love
him.
We love him.
We love him anyway.
He's a big UFC guy, so he'll bring a different dynamic to the show.
He a big UFC, big NBA guy. So, anything else, boys?
You know the vibe.
You know the vibes.
Perfect.